Hi, do you know what it feels like to be dysregulated? Do you even know what that means as it relates to you? Well, given everything I've gone through, I really didn't know either. So let's talk about that today. Hi, I am Tammy Coin, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. I upload content twice a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays on holistic healing and personal development. And then on Saturdays, I upload the Holistic Pathway podcast, where I have unscripted conversations, usually with other entrepreneurs, about what it means to live the holistic life. So thank you so much for joining. Why would you want to listen to me? Well, I've been through a lot. I have a history of severe trauma, abuse, and loss, and I have gotten to the other side of complex post-traumatic stress. Now, not everybody who listens to my channel or follows me or works with me has dealt with complex PTSD or even believes that they have any sort of trauma. That's okay. The work that I do actually helps you get to the other side of whatever is causing you pain. That's why we look at pain to possibilities, because sometimes we have to know something is possible before we can do it. I am now a holistic practitioner. I'm a transformational spiritual coach. I am a yoga teacher, a hypnotherapist, a yoga nidra facilitator, and several other things. I also have a master's in counseling. And although I practice holistically, I'm not a traditional counselor. So let's talk a little bit about this idea of being dysregulated. So you may have heard the terms fight or flight. You may have also heard the term freeze or the term fawn. I, most of my life, fell in the fight or flight category. Every now and then there would be freeze, and there were some instances of fawning. So today, what I want to do is look at what I have um, learned is actually a feeling of being dysregulated in your nervous system. So the three areas where you may find yourself dysregulated, the clues can show up in your body, can show up in your mind, and can show up in your breath. So let's knock those down a little bit, and let's see if you're feeling or have felt any of these will be clues that what you're experiencing is dysregulation. As I said, even with all of my education and all of the healing that I've done, I don't know that I really connected with the word dysregulated. I don't even know if I understood what that meant, especially in relation to me. So that's why I thought this might be an interesting topic for you to check out. So, some signs that you might be dysregulated in your body. You may have a feeling of feeling unsafe in your physical body. You might even feel anxious or panicked. Notice, are there times when you feel that way? You may be feeling that way right now. And sometimes there's not anything even happening. You just notice this feeling in your body. Another one is you may notice that your heart rate is elevated. So that's another clue that your central nervous system may be dysregulated. You may also feel that your body is sweating, or you're shaking, or you just feel uncomfortable in your own skin. There's a story about this that I have, how I used to feel in the past. I always felt the feeling of feeling trapped, often feeling trapped in my own skin, like I needed um, to eject or get out of my body, because quite honestly, I lived most of my life dissociated and out of my body. I did not know that there was anything called dysregulated. You can feel hyper aware or numb to your emotions or bodily sensations. You might feel unable to feel relaxed or comfortable, or just feeling unsettled in your body. You may notice that your body feels exhausted or depleted. You may notice tension throughout your body. You may be someone who feels it in your neck or your shoulders, in your jaws, your lower back. You may also be someone who experiences chronic pain. You may also notice that it sort of moves around. It may be uncomfortable in one place, really tight, and then you notice it's sort of moving around. Whereas for most of us, we weren't even taught how to listen to the signs of our body, listen to what I call the language of our body. And so we are so disconnected from what our body is doing, we don't even know that we're dysregulated. We don't even know what's going on because we've never even been taught to tune in to what's happening in the body. Okay, let's look at the mind. So, some things that can happen in the mind: racing thoughts, feeling hopelessness, despair, or criticism, difficulty concentrating on task or thinking clearly or critically, feeling spaced out or unsure of what is real or imaginary, maybe seeking distraction like TV, scrolling, daydreaming, substances, or eating. Um, your breath. Okay, here is one that you may not notice at all sometimes. You may notice that you're barely breathing, or that it feels restricted, or that it feels heavy in certain spots, or you may notice that you're not breathing or you're holding your breath. What about breathing shallow, where you're breathing from the chest rather than low in the belly? So these are all signs that you may have a dysregulated nervous system. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that your nervous system is asking you for help to regulate it. And there are all kinds of things that you can do to regulate it. But what this video is really about is helping you determine when you are dysregulated in your nervous system. We all go through this. The important part is to learn to become aware of it, and then you can use the tools that you have to regulate yourself. So I have become very tuned in with my body to now understand when I'm feeling dysregulated. This morning, as a matter of fact, there's nothing in particular going on, but I don't feel particularly triggered. However, I feel a bit uncomfortable in my body. I feel a little bit anxious. Um, Let me see, what else can I notice? I noticed there's a little bit of tension in my neck that I could easily ignore. But when I pay attention, I can definitely feel it. Um, I do know how to deep breath into my belly, but it's definitely more shallow today. So that is awareness for me to go, okay, it might be just time to check in with myself a little bit, use my tools. My tools might be essential oils. I did a video about that the other day. My tools might be meditation. My tools might be dancing, might be taking a walk. What's important is to recognize what it is that your body needs to bring you back into balance. So keep in mind these areas or these particular clues that I've given is not an exhaustive list. It's important to know your own body. The other part about this, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of these are going to be happening at one time. It may just be one subtle thing, like you may just all of a sudden realize that you're holding your breath, like, but you weren't aware of it until you begin to notice it. Maybe you've noticed that, your jaw has begun to hurt because you're clenching your teeth and you didn't even know it. One thing that I used to do that I would look down and I would realize that one of my hands would be in a fist, and I would have no idea what was going on in my subconscious, but somehow my body was in a state of, um, well, it looks like fight, doesn't it? So those are things, and I didn't know it, but once I became aware of it, then I could start to see, okay, what is creating this? Am I around certain people when this happens? Am I around doing certain things? Do I have thoughts that are creating this? So this is all just kind of food for thought to have you just start to notice what's going on with your body. And once you begin to notice these things, you can begin to change them. So I would like to know, are you familiar with this term, dysregulated nervous system? Is that something you're familiar with? And if not, was this list helpful to you? If so, I would love to know the tools that you are using that help you regulate yourself. So, in summary, to be dysregulated, start to notice your body, start to notice your mind, start to notice your breath, and consider if you are going through any of those symptoms that I mentioned to give you a clue that you may be feeling dysregulated. So, thank you so much for watching. This is Tammy Coin, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. I do offer a free holistic consultation that is available to you. The link is usually in the description or the comments. If you think you would like to talk more about what you have got going on the holistic journey, I would love to talk to you and see if I'm a good fit for us to work together, or if maybe I could have some suggestions on something that you could do for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.